Hey everybody, how's it going? The Stout Man is coming back at you again today. And today, as you can see in the title above, I am going to be talking about a Blu-ray that I was sent to review from Mill Creek, Spaced Invaders. This one will be coming out, I believe, this week actually, probably as of my saying this, as of my posting this. Release day is on Tuesday, so probably already on store shelves. But regardless, this one, we need to talk. We need to talk. If you haven't already seen my review on geeky.com, then I highly advise you to go to my review on geeky.com and read through that. It's not too long, but it's long enough to get the point across about this particular transfer. So, of course, in true Mill Creek fashion, you can expect a package that looks very nice. If we compare it to the DVD copy, which I just so happen to have because I'm a fan of the movie. Here's the DVD copy, the original DVD copy, and here's the Blu-ray copy. Same artwork, same everything, exactly as I would have wanted it. And if we look at the back here, we can see, again, pretty much the same artwork, the same everything. The DVD, just in case you're thinking that box talks about special features, Dolby Digital Surround Sound and widescreen were the special features on this release. Guess what? You can get that right here. Of course, there are no extra special features on this, but even if they could have found it, they probably wouldn't have put anything on there because Mill Creek does bare bones releases, which is why they are able to put out so many releases for such a low price. That's their whole gig. Unlike somebody like Arrow Video or Criterion, they don't put extra effort into their releases, right? They don't exactly go the full 9 or anything like that. They put as much effort as they can into their releases while still keeping it at a price point that is affordable for the average consumer. So they're not necessarily in it for collectors, just keep that in mind. Some of their releases are kind of, you can tell they're kind of aimed at collectors. They're much more, they look much more like a collector's package would be, sort of. But others like this are not necessarily for collectors. They're just, if you wanted an HD, guess what? Here it is, finally now in HD. And at a price point currently on Amazon of $8.99, it's not a horrible deal. That being said, we need to talk about this transfer. It's ugly, folks. It's really bad. Now, when I say really bad, what I mean is it's really bad. I love Mill Creek, and I'm very happy that they sent this to me because, as you can see from the fact that I own the DVD over there, I am a huge fan of Spaced Invaders. I love this movie. And even though the transfer on this Blu-ray wasn't that great, I still gave it a fairly decent review on geeky.com. But the transfer on this movie, it must be said, it needs to be said, is horrible. You will notice all kinds of pops and whistles everywhere. Just defects in the film up the wazoo. There's even a point where it looks like the film is starting to split a little bit. There are problems. There are problems galore in this transfer, in this print. In addition to the problems with the print being a little ugly, it appears also that this, I don't know if they did DNR or what. I don't think they, I mean, it's hard for me to believe that Mill Creek did DNR or anything like that, because typically they just don't even do anything with that, with regards to that. They don't do DNR, but they also don't clean up the print that they get from the studios. So what you get from the studios, what they get from the studios is what they put on the disc. They don't really put much more effort into cleaning it up and making it look better or more presentable or anything like that. They just take what the studios give them, slap it on a disc, throw it into the stores, call it a day. And sometimes that works out really well because what the studio has is really nice. It's just a fucking beautiful transfer that's true to the source material. But this is one that's probably seen a few too many theaters in its day, because I mean, on top of the print being really ugly, there's also an issue with color balance. I mean, there's a scene in this where there's a truck, a regular beat up old truck, that the paint, it's so red that it looks like a fire engine. Alright? There's a problem with that. I'm sorry, but if your beat up old truck looks like a fire engine red, there's a problem with your color. Especially when in the background in that same shot you can see a tree that is probably fake, but it not only like looks fake, it's also fucking neon green. Like, there is a huge problem when the background pieces in your scene are looking like they're fucking impossible because the color balance in the movie is so fucking off. And the thing is, I don't think it's really consistent. I don't think that happens throughout the entire movie. I think it just happens in certain scenes. And then in other scenes it's okay. It really depends, honestly. It honestly feels like something that the studio did. It feels like maybe it was the DVD master that they just got the high definition version of the DVD master and they put it on the disc. That feels like maybe what happened. I don't know for sure. I don't know enough about the process to know exactly what happened there. But there are color issues, the print is ugly, and there also appears to be some edge enhancement here and there. So if I were to be honest about this, it's not a beautiful Blu-ray. It's not going to be necessarily a huge upgrade from your DVD, but it is a bit of an upgrade. It is fairly nice to have it on Blu-ray. It's fairly nice to have it in high definition. So I still have to kind of recommend it, especially if you don't already have it on DVD. If you do already have it on DVD, then, you know, whatever. Do whatever you want to do. But just know that upgrading to Blu-ray here from Mill Creek, you're probably not going to get like a huge upgrade. It's probably not going to be a big noticeable thing. It's just going to be a few scenes that look really nice. Now, one thing I will say is that the model work in this movie is just fucking fantastic. It's beautiful. It's one of my favorite things about the movie. And it looks just as magnificent in high definition. If anything, I would have to say that the model work just, at sometimes, because of how often it's used in this movie, it starts to even look a little bit goofy now. What once was perfectly fine for like television and whatnot, it just, in high definition, it looks kind of goofy. So, yeah, you get issues like that with older movies and their special effects, whatnot, not really transferring well to the high definition format, what have you. So, yeah, not everything is going to be perfect out there, but it's fairly decent. Again, there are no special features. I don't even think there's really a menu for this. So, although I absolutely love this movie and I really want everybody out there to run out and buy this because this movie is fucking excellent, I can't necessarily tell you that if you have this, you should ditch this and get this. Because honestly, they're about equal. Probably going to get a bit of a better deal here because you can get a little bit more detail in there. But more detail isn't necessarily better. More doesn't necessarily mean better. Especially for movies like this. I mean, there's a scene where the little girl is talking to herself on a porch. You probably know the scene if you've seen the movie before. At least if you've seen it as many times as I have. And in the DVD copy, you can't really tell. But in the Blu-ray copy, it is fucking blatantly obvious that she is not even moving her mouth. all of that was ADR. Like, movie magic that suddenly isn't so magical when you can see every little bit of detail from the high definition. Yeah. So, I don't know what to say here. I really don't, because I love Space Invaders, and I love the fact that Mill Creek went the extra mile to put this on Blu-ray, even though they probably didn't have to, and even though they didn't really have much to work with. But at the same time, they didn't have much to work with, and it shows. And it's just, it's pretty beat up, not gonna lie. It's not the best Blu-ray I've ever seen. In fact, it's probably one of the worst in terms of image quality. But if we're talking about the movie itself, the movie is excellent. So, you know, I highly recommend it. It's definitely not as bad as something like the Predator Ultimate Edition, which is just DNR'd out of fucking existence. It's nowhere near as bad as that. At least you can make out fine details in this movie. But, yeah. That being said, just know what you're getting here before you get it. I wish I could tell you nicer things. I wish I could be nicer. But that's the truth, folks. You came here for the truth, and I gave it to you. Sometimes the truth, it's harsh. Anyways, that'll do it for today. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. Peace.